Alrighty traders, hello everybody. So today there was a lot of really good movement in the market. King Russell is obviously still in a nice positive territory. Everything else is actually down from here. This is actually for you guys are wondering, this is my actual trading setup here. Drink, notepad, this is the microphone that I normally speak with. And this is actually I think this is a big 49-inch big 49-inch computer monitor here. So that's what's happening through there. And as you can see, these are my charts that I have. And these are the only two charts that I use, right? This is one chart here and another chart right here as well too, with all these other charts. But this is all I use to trade now. If you guys watched my video the other day where I showed you I used to have like 7 screens, 2 computers. You don't need that, right? You really don't need that. I just use one big 49-inch widescreen. It's really just 2 major screens, once again, as you can see. And then this is my main screen here, and then I have another screen here for there. And that's what that allows me to do as well too. So gold and silver are holding strong through right now as well too, guys. So there's a lot of things that we want to go through with today's video. So let's get straight into it, guys. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's have a look around the markets today to see what actually happened with all the different markets. Let's start off with the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones today, guys, had a really big sort of engulfing day today. As you can see, look at this here. You actually can see how it rallied up and had a massive engulfing day through here. And I've always been worried about this being a sort of a false breakout type of a move when it comes to the actual markets from here. So I've always been worried about that when it comes to that through there. So I've always believed that we're probably going to get a sideways movement from here. So, but looking at this level, we're still in a strong upward trend. But I do believe that we're probably going to get, just looking at what we're seeing right now with this level here, yeah, we're probably going to get a bit of a drop down through on this level through here. So, because I've been seeing this here, right? We're going up, down, up, and then a little sideways movement, and then we continue up again as well too. And I'm just like, oh, and now looking at this level through here, this move is probably going to be over. And we're probably going to come down through here and maybe even wait for this moving average. So weakness in the Dow Jones from there. Moving on now through to the Nasdaq. And the Nasdaq to me is one of those markets that I just don't see doing too much overall. If we go look at the weekly chart here with the Nasdaq, we can see here that the weekly chart here with the Nasdaq is indeed, right, just really not doing much through here. We're definitely in a strong upward trend still. And the moving average is still up, but we're just really not doing much. And I believe the Nasdaq right now is probably pretty tired, right? Nasdaq's pretty tired. I mean, it's been going up for a long time, so this is just a bit of a resting phase across the market. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see this daily chart start to roll over, and you actually can see now that it actually had a short-term little false breakout move, breaking above there. So yeah, I definitely do see that, or I see that the Nasdaq's probably going to get a bit of weakness now into it. Not a crash, but definitely a bit of a weakness into the election time from there. Look at the S&P 500 and the same situation, right? S&P 500 has been, as you can see, has been strong, but now we've got this big engulfing sort of bar through here, as you can see. So an complete engulfing, complete failure of there you go, a complete failure of a move to the upside. So this definitely looks like there's probably, you know, there's probably a bit of weakness to come out of this level through here before we start to see something like that going on out of the markets from here. So we're probably seeing a bit more weakness coming out of these markets now on the S&P 500. Probably not a big drop. If I look at my weekly charts here, you can see we're in a very big strong trending market from here. So possibly even just, you know, let the moving average continue. This is the moving average, so the moving average is probably going to continue up like that, and we're probably going to come down through here somewhere when it comes to that. Now, King Russell, right? King Russell has been holding really strong right now, right? Continue to be in a very strong upward trend. The buyers have come in really early from here, right? And they've come back up, and now we've hit this resistance. So To me, out of all the indices, right, King Russell, Nasdaq Nasdaq, Dow and S&P have been all weak, right? Been very, very, very weak in the markets here. But King Russell, I believe King Russell is going to make some really big catch-up moves. So the next few months, especially after the election, I definitely see that Russell's likely to make a big catch-up move. We may get a bit of a flattening out period right now, but I see this thing, possibly making, seeing this through here, right? Possibly doing something like this, maybe even breaking up. But I do believe that we're likely to see some really good moves towards the end of the year when it comes to the Russell from there. Moving on now through to the silver market, and silver could be getting ready for a really strong move, right? Silver could be getting ready for a really strong move to the upside to play catch up to gold, because silver's been doing nothing all this time here. But now the buyers are starting to come back in, right? So you can see here, we're in a bit of a downward sort of phase through here. And now we're starting to stair step through here. So we may be getting ready for a breakout. And if we do, we could be getting ready for a really good move out of silver. But on the other hand of what I just mentioned there, the gold market to me, that noise that I just said there, look where gold is compared to silver, right? Silver is just starting to break out through here right now after doing this level through here, but gold has already made this really big strong move to the upside. So gold overall, guys, could be getting ready for, I believe we're getting ready, we're very, very, very overbought right now. And how I can tell that is if you look at my moving average on my weekly chart, you can see that we get to a point where we get pretty far away from the moving average before we need to start getting what? A bit of equilibrium, a bit of a pullback, right? We get even through here, right? We're going to pull back almost to the moving average, and we're here right now. So if we do have another move to the upside, it's probably going to be very short-lived overall. I believe we'll probably need a bit of movement on the side, like what's called a sideways range, right? Like a bit of a sideways range, just for it to cool down, because you can see whenever we get too far away from the moving average, there's a high probability we're likely to see a pullback, like a drop, or at least a bit of sideways movement before we continue. All right, so what I want to do right now is just to finish off with today's video for you is that I want to talk to you about the things that I didn't realize that came along with me wanting to become good at this thing called trading. And that is the sacrifice that I have to do, or I had to do, in order for me to become good at trading, and also I have to do. And there is a sacrifice there, right? There's a sacrifice from there's a sacrifice. There's been so much sacrifices, right? There's like, no, I'm not going to go out this weekend. I'm going to spend the time looking at the charts. There's a sacrifice of, like, oh crap, I know I need to go get some coaching and education, right? And some training. There is a sacrifice of, sometimes taking that leap of faith and going and get some help, right? Because I didn't actually start to do really well at trading until I actually went and got help from my mentor, and he really started to show me the path. And then with some time through that, there's been a lot of sacrifice, as in like, there's been many times when early on, I've been trading the markets for 20 years now. There was many times early on when I felt like giving up. I felt like quitting. I felt like I just couldn't get it, right? Now I do get it, right? And the thing is that trading is much easier for me now. And the reason why is because, and it comes back down to this simple thing, right, guys? I have one type of trading setup that I teach you for free in that trading course. Link in the description, or go to get johnsfreegift.com. You get the free trading course, and I teach you my trading system there. But all it is that, like, anything else outside the system, the pattern, I know the pattern works, right? So the big thing, one of the big sacrifices was also like who I'm hanging around with, because to be able to go through all the challenges and the setbacks and the mental beliefs and the mind blockages and to be able to keep moving forward that way, it has required two things. One, that I have to keep continuing my education around mindset, audible books, right? I've been listening to a lot of audio books in the car, continuing to make sure my mindset is I'm thinking the right things, right? Because once again, it's all about how you think, how you're seeing the world determines your beliefs and so on and so forth. So the sacrifice is, initially was that I have to do this thing. I have to keep learning. I have to keep listening to books and reading books and stuff like that to continue changing the way that I'm thinking, my mindset. That is a sacrifice, right? So the sacrifice might be when you're in a car. Instead of listening to music all the time, maybe some of the time, lately I've been doing all the time, listen to an audible book, right? When you're driving, slowly condition your mind. There's been a lot of sacrifice of letting go a lot of people in my life, like friends in my life that are not growth orientated, that are not really going anywhere. They're just like stuck, right? They're not moving forward. And the sacrifice is that I can't be around this person. If I need to be around people who are moving and doing stuff in their life and understanding the struggle that actually takes to start to get good at this thing, I need people like that, right? So they can neutralize my journey, so then they can continue to help me through and to get better and better and better and better. And if I'm trying to become good at this thing called trading, and I'm trying to become something that most people can't do and become part of the top 1% in this world, then I can't have the mindset or the mentality of people around me, because who you hang around with is who you become, right? So the sacrifices has been, what ends up happening is a lot of the times you end up leaving a lot of friends and you start to have a very small peer group. In fact, very, very, very small peer group, right? There might be only a couple of people in my life right now that I associate with as friends, where a lot of people, you start to say no to all that crap, no to partying, and no to this, no to drugs, no to all that sort of crap. And you're saying yes on a deliberate basis. Yes, because you're saying yes to audible books, right? You're saying yes to reading books. The discipline of saying, I now need to do this. Saying no to, like, I can't hang around with you anymore, right? Because it's not helping me move forward. So there is such a sacrifice. There's such a sacrifice that as I've gone along now 20 years in the markets, it's been such a sacrifice for me in order for me to become much better at trading, that if you don't take the sacrifice, you don't get the result, right? And the sacrifice is a lot of these things that I've had to say. And a lot of the times, guess what? You actually go through a lonely chapter. The lonely chapter is it's just no one around you. It's you and say the market, you trying to figure this out and you trying to get better. That's the reason why it's always good to become part of a group. But after a while, you start to realize that there's actually no one around you who really gets you, because and that's what happened with me, right? Even to this day. Oh, my shoulder. Even to this day, right? Like not many people really understand what I do. Actually, probably most of them. All of them. They really don't understand what I do for a living. Like me trading the markets. I'm a good trader and I trade really well. Right? My coaching is one of the most successful coaching programs on the planet when it comes to actually helping people get ahead. But there's a sacrifice. And the sacrifice is I can't keep hanging around you. I can't keep hanging around this person right now, because it's just I want to be, my vision of me doing really well in life is more than more of this, all right? And I'm willing to sacrifice this friendship in order for me to attain my goals. Because it's so much harder, right, guys? Because if you're hanging around people that are always complaining, don't like their job, they're always broke and all this sort of stuff all the time, always something going on, it's like, oh man, right? Because success is hard. Success is hard. There's a deliberate action we need to take, right? And you're going to go through your obstacles and the ups and the downs, and as you're trying to move forward in life, right? And I've always just found that if I'm not prepared to have the sacrifice and do the sacrifice and do that consistently, for many months and many years, then the result's not going to show up, because I'm always going to be sabotaging myself, right? Because of my belief. I might do really well at trading, but then suddenly I'm sabotaging myself because I'm hanging around someone who's making maybe 80 grand a year from a full-time job, and they're talking about how life is tough and so on and so forth. Like I don't want to buy into that. And so what ends up happening is that you start to, right? What ends up happening is that you start to buy into that, and it has a big, massive impact on you when it comes to you and your life. So with every great reward, there's a great sacrifice. And I've realized more and more and more in my life is that if I'm not prepared to actually have the sacrifice might be sticking with a program. Sacrifice might be taking a leap of faith and getting a coach, getting some help. Sacrifice might be saying, I'm letting go of all these people in my life because I can't hang around with them anymore. I'm trying to raise my standards, raise my discipline, raise my consistency, raise my next level in my life. And my current level of thinking and the people I hang around with is not helping me take it to another level. And I need to let go of these people. And I need to move forward. I need to actually have these sacrifices in life. You know, I'm not gonna stay up late at night anymore. I'm gonna go to bed early so I can get a good night's sleep and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, this is the sacrifice that I find that a lot of times, guys, that most people don't realize when it comes to trading. And it's always one of the hardest things, right? Because you might have really close friends that have been close friends for a long, long, long time. And it's always hard to let them go if they're not on the same wavelength as you. But they slow you down. They really, really, really do slow you down. And the reason why I say that is because I found that the biggest progress that I've made in my life is by making a deliberate action of not to hang out with those people, continue to listen to Audible books, you know, and Jim Rohn and all these people out there, of conditioning my mind and day in, day out. And it's not like a once-off thing, right? It's doing it day in, day out. Listen to audiobooks in the car every single day. You know, looking at the markets, getting better at understanding the markets, getting better at, you know, trading and so on and so forth. And every day, and you do this every single day. And what happens is then about 3 to 6 months later, the results start to show up from all the sacrifice that you've put in today. So if you're not getting the result right now, the last 3 to 6 months, how can you get better? How can you raise your standards? How can you raise your discipline? And what sort of sacrifice are you willing to put in? Because for every great reward in life, there's a great sacrifice.